But this time is totally different. We are in fourth wave, and people are talking about the early election as well. Do you think it was a good decision to call early election? So that the economy will back on track. Do you think the economy will back on track with the Liberal government? Do you think still there is a more need to do something else for them? So what would the government's strategy to make or improve relations with other countries? Childcare is very important for us. Childcare, $10 daycare plan. How it will be beneficial for Delta residents?
Our plan for childcare addresses all of that. So it's $10 a day. So right now, that's going to go down to $300 a month. All of a sudden, families have a choice.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਰਸ਼ਦੀਪ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ 2021 ਐਜ਼ ਯੂ ਆਲ ਨੋ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਹੁੰਚਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਪਰਫਾਰਮ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪੋਲਸ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਸੇ ਲੜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਗੁਲਜ਼ਾਰ ਚੀਮਾ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਐਕਟਿਵ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਨੇ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਐਕਟਿਵਲੀ ਵਰਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਵੀ ਰਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ MLA 2 ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹੀਏ ਕਿ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਵੀ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਫੰਡ ਰੇਜ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਡੈਲਟਾ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਡੈਲਟਾ ਰਾਈਡਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋ ਐਜ਼ ਯੂ ਆਲ ਨੋ ਦ ਅਪਕਮਿੰਗ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਵਿਲ ਟੇਕ ਪਲੇਸ 2 years ahead of schedule and the snap federal election will be held September 20th. The Delta riding held the 3-time Paralympic medalist Carla, Minister of Employment, Workforce Development and Disability Inclusion. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਵਾਂ ਕਿ disability inclusion first time ever in history of Canada ਕੋਈ disability minister ਬਣਿਆ ਸੋ ਇਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ personal matter ਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ personally ਇਹ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ and then we'll talk about the federal election when we talk about October 2019 federal election held in October 2019 Liberal candidate Carla, she retained her seat in Delta by 4,300 votes margin over the Conservatives. Can you believe that? And Qualtrough was first elected in 2015 in a newly configured riding which combined South Delta and North Delta. She finished around 9,000 votes that time. And then if we'll talk about percentage, 49.3% of the popular vote Qualtrough get in 2019 ended up taking 23 of Delta's 29 polling stations. So now she's running again. She is seeking re-election and she is here in studios. Let's welcome Carla Qualtrough and Dr. Sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, how are you doing? How's the campaign going?
You know, I'm doing great. My team is doing great. We've got a really positive message that we're sharing with Delta, but really with Canada about finishing the fight against COVID, making sure we recover economically, and quite frankly, making sure we don't leave anyone behind.
So as you said, elections are elections are going really very well. Campaign is going really very well. And when we're talking about pandemic, because in 2015 and 2019 you had we can say election campaign as well. But this time it's totally different. We are in fourth wave, and people are talking about the early election as well. Do you think it was a good decision to call early election?
But I think it really was. And now that we've seen all the different platforms from all the parties, we really see what a different vision each party has for the future of our country. And so to me, that says very clearly that Canadians have a choice ahead of them, a really important one, because we have to keep going in this fight against COVID and we have to move our country forward. And each party has a very different idea of the best way to do that. And I think Canadians have a right to make that choice.
Ms. Qualtrough, what was your role during the pandemic?
Wow. So I happen to be Minister of Employment when our country had the lowest unemployment rate and the highest unemployment rate when COVID hit. And so my job given to me by the Prime Minister was to make sure our workers were supported. How do we get money into the pockets of workers, because we shut the economy down for health reasons. How do we make sure people could pay their bills, families could pay their rent and buy their food and not lose their houses and mortgages? And so I created the SERB. So my job was to oversee the creation of the SERB, the student benefits, the disability payments. We had to change the EI system so people could come back, the Canada Recovery benefits. A lot of the individual supports were under my watch, I would say.
Very nice, because people appreciate the SERB, the other benefit your government provide to the normal people, I must say. But I will go to Dr. Chima. Dr. Chima, if you want to add something in Carla's, I can say, introduction, what will be your, I can say, statement?
I think the best thing is that I have known her since, I think, 2013.
Wow.
We met first time at my place when Mr. Trudeau was trying to be the Prime Minister at that time. And then, then since then we've been working together as of 2015. Actually, my son has worked for her. So we know her very personally. I think her performance has been exceptional. I think she has done a great job. This was a very difficult time. And can you imagine that without any playbook or any manual how to deal with the pandemic, this government has done an exceptionally good job, and she was at the forefront. And I think most people, because once you are busy, you are in Ottawa, then you have to travel back and forth, and sometimes people don't see you all the time. Who are the people behind the scenes? I think this team is not behind the scene. This team is up front, and she's one of the top players in that team. So we are very happy to support her. I just want to say a few words in Punjabi.
Yes.
क्योंकि इन्हां दी राइडिंग ਦੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਐਂਡ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤੀ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਫਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬੜੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਦੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 2015 ਚ ਵੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਸਨ, 2019 ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਨ। ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਬੜਾ ਕ੍ਰੂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਹੈ। ਐਂਡ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੋਈ, I think her answer was very clear that now all the 3 or 4 parties have the platform. You want to see which party is going to do the best job for everyone. People should have the choice. You can't wait for another 15 months or, you know, roughly the minority governments are there only for about 18 months. I know it personally that these things are so important, and I think overall what we have seen for the last, say, week or so, especially for the last 2 days, our platform is very clear. So ਉਸ platform the gal, I will let Carla talk about that platform. You can ask those questions, but from my perspective, from a community member, from Surrey, from Delta, I think these 4 members or 5 members of parliament, they have done a great job for this area. They brought a lot of resources here, and I think you can clearly tell from her tone. She's very confident, and we are going to do well, but we need your support.
We should have confidence, and in that state, in the Ms. Qualtro, if we'll start from you. Whenever you are talking or talking to someone, you always say, first of all, I am a mom. Right? So you introduce yourself as a mom first. But when we're talking about our child, our kid, childcare is very, very important for us. Childcare, $10 daycare plan. How it will be beneficial for Delta residents?
It's game-changing for the entire country. So what we saw during the pandemic was women had to leave the workforce to take care of their children, to take care of their parents, really make some really difficult choices for their family out of necessity. And now we desperately need women to come back into the workforce. And we need to do that by giving families a real option. Because right now, childcare is so expensive, and there's not enough spaces, and there's not enough teachers. And our plan for childcare addresses all of that. So it's $10 a day. So right now, a family can pay $1,700 or $1,800 a month per child. That's going to go down to $300 a month. All of a sudden, families have a choice. Women can go back to work. Families can choose to have one parent at home or both parents out working. We're going to create more spaces, because even, you know, when parents are looking for spaces, well, you're a mom too. You understand it's hard to find. So I think, you know, from an economic point of view, this is game changing. But for families, it's also going to address some of the kind of key affordability issues that we're hearing on the doors.
And you were Minister of Jobs as well, as you say, said we need more jobs, we need more spaces, so that our economy will back on track. That's why the Liberal platform 2021 has released that we're going to support the businesses, we're going to support everyone, we're going to support the Canadians, so that the economy will back on track. Do you think economy will back on track with the Liberal platform?
Absolutely. So as of now, we've recovered about 93% of the jobs that were lost during COVID. But we still have more jobs to recover, and we want to create even more jobs. So we're extending our hiring program so that we can help businesses hire people, give people more hours moving forward all the way to next March. We're ensuring that businesses can access new technology and go online. We're ensuring that people can, afford to go back to work. Again, these issues are all intertwined, whether it's transit, whether it's housing, whether it's childcare, whether it's finding workers. They're all mixed up together, and we've got a plan for all of it.
I'll go back to Dr. Cheema. Dr. Cheema, when we're talking about platform, what's your take on the Liberal platform, especially when we're talking about economy?
देखो सब तो पहली गल है कि $78 billion ਹੋਰ स्पेंड करने ने पिछले साल ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 93% ਜੌਬ ਰਿਕਵਰੀ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ देयर ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ 10% ਜਿਹੜਾ $10 ਪਰ ਡੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਾ ਡੇ ਕੇਅਰ ਇਜ਼ ਸੋ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਫੈਮਲੀਜ਼ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ $10 ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡੇ ਕੇਅਰ ਇਜ਼ ਸੋ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਪਲੱਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਟੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਵਧਾਏ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਸੀਨੀਅਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਵਧਾਏ ਗਏ ਨੇ GIC ਦੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਵਧਾਏ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ $500 ਸੀਨੀਅਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਐਕਸਟਰਾ ਮਿਲਨੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਾ this is all is happening because we had the vision. This government went there to make sure Canada is on the first layer of the economy. And I think at this time Carla can explain to you better.
Sure, so
that,
excited. No, not better for sure.
But it's so important for everyone to know that we are on the right track, but we want to go fast on that track. The only way we can go fast, then people will vote. Look at the platform, compare the platform, our cost is there. Sari gal utte dassi sab nu. Koi luka ke nahi hai. We are not hiding anything. It's very clear. The record is there for the last 6 years. So record to samne.
So Carla, you wanted to add something, and Dr. Cheema.
I didn't want to interrupt. I apologize, but I just want to make clear how we had a plan from the beginning. I mean, the plan was very clear. Do what it takes to keep Canadians safe. Make sure we protected jobs and workers and businesses so that when we got to the other side, we'd have an economy to come roaring back. And honestly, as a government, to take on the debt so families didn't have to. Right? We were better positioned as a government. I didn't want you using your credit line or using your credit cards to pay your rent. It didn't make any sense at all to the Prime Minister or the rest of us for that matter. Now moving forward, we got to finish that fight. We got to create jobs and growth, and we got to make sure everybody comes with us and we don't leave our seniors, our people with disabilities behind. It's just not right. And it's not Canadian. It's not what we do.
But here is a question as well. In platform, they're saying they are going to spend $78 billion. But when we see at the deficit, that's already $31.55 billion, I must say. And then how the money will come from?
Really good question, and a really important one, because we came into the pandemic in a really strong fiscal position. So the country was well positioned. There was the room to take on this debt, to help Canadians when they needed it most. And coming out of, we have a very strong debt management plan. So we have the lowest debt to GDP ratio in the G7. And in terms of, fiscal markers, that's a really big one. We've got a plan to reduce that every year by a certain percent moving forward. But we also know that the way we actually can get out of this is by creating growth. More jobs, more success, more prosperity, and that's just going to lift the whole country up.
But here is the thing. Our recent poll suggests that majority of Canadians expect to pay more in taxes after September 20. What's your take on that?
It's not true. They're not gonna. There's no plan at all in our platform. In fact, we were the government that reduced taxes for the middle class. The first thing we did coming into government 6 years ago, and 6 years later, we have no plan to raise taxes. Of course, that's not how we all prosper. It's just not the plan. It's not going to happen.
I have one other question as well. So, person with disability by yourself, and that's the personal passion for yours.
Yes, it is.
So, you were a first minister of disability, I must say, and then you were proud for that as well. You did many things for persons with disabilities. Do you think still there is a more need to do something else for them?
Absolutely, and we absolutely intend to do just that. So first of all, when you think of it, 22% of Canadians, and Dr. Cheema knows this well, identify as having a disability. So that's 1 in 5 people. And this is an untapped labor pool. We need workers. There you go. Highly educated, motivated, creative, innovative group of people ready to work, ready to contribute to our country. It's up to us as government to remove the barriers that are in the way of getting people employed, of helping people move forward, whether that's attitudes, whether it's accessibility issues. So I can't get into a building, I can't read something. We have a very comprehensive plan, both to support people who can and want to work but just haven't found a job yet, through an employment strategy, but also to lift hundreds of thousands of people with disability out of poverty through a Canada Disability Benefit, which will be like the GIS. Because too many of our working age citizens live in poverty. It's unacceptable. It doesn't have to be that way in Canada.
We should be very proud of this platform. One section which I know personally is so crucial is the mental health.
I was about to ask you that question.
During Premier Campbell's government, I was the first Minister of State for mental health in this country. I know how it is important because 1 in 4 or 1 in 5% in this country, one time or the other will go through mental health issues.
And
so we have to dedicate, I think
yes.
they'll be dedicating at least $5.6 billion over a period of maybe 4 years. And I think that funding is going to go for mental health, and that was seen during the pandemic, because during this time we have seen there are a lot of people who are going under a lot of stress. Online help was provided. There were a lot of people who were sitting at home. They were working from home. There were so many family issues. But this government overall, what is the role of government? To help people during difficult time. And I think for the last 18 months, I think that has been shown very clearly. But a clear तरीके ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਕਿ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਸੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨੀ, ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨੀ, ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ $10 ਡੇ ਕੇਅਰ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਾ ਸਰਵ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਿਡਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਾਇਰ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮਦਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ। Lot of money was spent. It's government's money, it's taxpayers' money. It was given to them. Why not?
ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਹੈਲਥ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਸੋ ਇਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਪੈਂਡੈਮਿਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਟਸ ਮੋਰ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਟੂ ਟੇਕ ਕੇਅਰ ਆਫ ਪੀਪਲਸ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਹੈਲਥ। ਸੋ ਮਿਸ Qualtrough, if we'll talk about the trade, Delta businesses and another businesses around the Canada rely on foreign trade as well. So what would the government strategy to make or improve relations with the US or China, or seek another trading opportunity with other countries?
Well, exactly. As I said, the whole idea behind our plan is to grow our economy and to grow our businesses. And part of that will absolutely bringing the kind of the Canadian product to the world. So we've already signed a number of agreements with countries and different groups of countries around the world, and we're just going to build on that. So of course the US is our most closest ally and friend and neighbor, and most of our trade and their trade goes back and forth across our borders. So we're looking to strengthen those relationships, those ties, to help businesses go global, right? There's so many fantastic, innovative businesses in our country that just need a little help to take that next step, and that's the help we're going to provide them.
And another big challenge in Delta as well, housing, affordable housing. So what's the government will do in 2021 if you will re-elect?
Yeah. Not just Delta, Surrey, the whole lower mainland, right? It's a big issue, affordable housing, providing housing options. So whether it's rental housing, whether it's seniors looking to leave a bigger house and go to a smaller, to downsize, whether it's people buying their first home, and those are exactly the strategy. We put forth a very ambitious housing plan. We were the first government to really get into housing at a national level ever again in the history of our country. And so we're building on that plan. We're creating a rent-to-own option. We're increasing the first-time homebuyers incentive. We're increasing the first-time homebuyers tax credit. We are doing whatever we can. We're building houses, helping developers create low-income housing, really attacking this from a whole-of-market approach, and also dealing with foreign investments, dealing with speculation, trying to address the challenges is that our neighborhoods aren't empty anymore.
And another big issue in our streets as well, we can say the drugs, gangs, and violence. So it's not in Surrey, it's not in Delta, it's everywhere, around the world. Or
I'm
we can
so
say
glad
around,
you said that, because it bugs me when people say this is a Surrey problem or this is a Delta problem.
No,
it is
everywhere.
Not. It's everywhere. You're absolutely right.
I can say, because when we are reading news, it's one we can say shooting or there are deaths. There are many things going around. So what the government will do, ban guns, because they already banned the assault guns, but still we need stricter rules. What the government will do?
Absolutely. So we want to, of course, we want to ban handguns, and we want the provinces and municipalities to be incentivized to ban handguns. So we've put forth a fund, a pot of money that provinces could access if they want to go down the path to ban handguns, and we think that's absolutely the right way to go. Of course, we've already banned assault rifles. Those rifles were built and designed to do one thing, and that's to kill people, right? It's not to kill animals or to hunt with. These rifles kill people. And the idea that the Conservatives would reverse that ban actually keeps me awake at night. Like, it terrifies me to think that they might do that. It terrifies me to think they might, scrap our childcare deals and, reverse the ban on assault rifles and, lower our climate action targets. We haven't even talked about climate, but man, people are worried about the climate.
And you want to add something in this?
Well, I think you have to look at the whole policy as a whole. And we are missing one part here, that's the immigration policy. For the last, say, about 5 or 6 years, our immigration policy has been very fair. It's been a part of the policy is to bring workers, then students are coming, family class has been expanded. And this is the only party which clearly defines the immigration policy. We don't say afterwards, we don't say we'll just check later on, we'll pick and choose. That's not the way that this government has worked. From our community perspective, from a South Asian community ਵੱਲੋਂ, this part is very crucial. ਸਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਲੀਜ਼ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਆਈਆਂ, ਲੋਕ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਸਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਡੈਲਟਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ। ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਆਏ ਸੀ, ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ ਅੱਗੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਮਿਟ ਮਿਲੇ, then they got their PR, now they are paying taxes, they are working hard. And I think those things are very important. We need to talk about those very openly and honestly. I think this government has done a great job. We should continue to support them, look at all the opportunities they are providing for the community at large.
So what's your take on immigration? Because immigration, as Dr. Chima said, there is family reunification, students are coming. So many people are very happy with that, but few people, they are saying there are like lots of people are coming and immigration is like very, very easy to get in Canada. So what's your take on that?
Well, first of all, it's undeniable, the richness and diversity and prosperity that welcoming the world has given our country. That's how immigrants built this country, and we're lucky that we did, because our country is diverse and inclusive and has benefited socially, but benefited economically. Hardworking people have chose to come live here and work here, and we have benefited from that. So I think the more we can champion diversity and welcome the world, the better off our country will always be.
Let's talk about environment.
Okay.
Now it's a challenge to everyone. So this is like very bad. We can say climate change, we can see fires, we can see floods, and many more impact on our community, on ourselves, on everywhere. So when we talk about Liberals' plan for environment or climate change, and there is a plan for pipelines as well. So how they will handle both things together?
Really good question. So the pipeline piece of the puzzle is a really important it's a one step in the right direction. So as long as oil is leaving Canada and going out to the rest of the world, by the way, very clean and very safe oil, the best way to get it to our shores is through the pipeline, instead of on trucks, instead of on trains, where there can be more accidents and more trouble on the roads. But the reality is we are getting out of that business. And so, but we have targets. We are putting a cap in our platform on oil and gas industry emissions. One of the things I'm really excited about our platform that's very close to the hearts of the people of Delta and South Surrey is the ban on the export of thermal coal. So we've got a situation in Canada where we're getting out of the business of this kind of coal. We are not approving mines moving forward that make this kind of coal, but we still take trains of this coal through South Surrey and Delta and export it. No more, not as of 2030. Families have been talking to me about this issue for all of the 6 years, and I'm sure you've heard it, and it's bad for people's health. Doctor, you could tell us that.
I think ਵਾਤਾਵਰਣ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੂਸਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਨ ਹੀ ਏਡੀ ਲੰਬੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੰਗੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਹੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਕ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਪਾਣੀਆਂ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਕਿ ਪਿਛਲੇ 6 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਮ ਕੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਪੂਰੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੇ ਕਈ ਕੰਮ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਅਧੂਰੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਟਾਈਮ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ we need more time that's why I think this election is important rather than waiting and also people don't know that every say so many times they have threatened to defeat the government you can't move forward until you have a clear strong mandate and once you have a strong mandate all those things can be done properly and I think it's very clear from BC's point of view especially from Surrey and Delta it's a growing community we are going to be almost more than Vancouver we need to bring more resources here we need to have more MPs from our party but we need to have the ministers back so that they can do their job.
So, Ms. Qualtrough, if you will re-elect once again, what will be the 4 main issues you want to work on?
For Delta or for
yes,
Canada?
For Delta.
Because I
for
have,
Delta.
I have a couple lists. So my list for Delta, of course, is childcare. We want to get parents kind of these choices. We want to work on affordable housing, climate action, and I'd say healthcare. You know, we have quite an aged population in Delta, and we got to make sure we take care of our seniors.
Let's get the list on Canada as well. What you want to do for Canada?
It's very similar. So, but for me, it's job creation. It's supporting workers, whether it's workers who are looking for jobs, training workers, skilling up workers. It's making sure our social support programs help people. So EI and the disability benefit I was talking about. And it's really just positioning our country so everybody can flourish. And that's what I'm very passionate about.
When we are watching the recent polls, we are seeing recent polls, it's like neck-to-neck competition nowadays. And what is your chances to re-elect?
Well, I hope they're good. We're sure working hard. I've got a lot of work left to do and a lot of things I want to keep doing for Delta and for the country. Listen, I think that the message I'm hearing on the doors is people want us to keep fighting for them and fighting to keep them safe and they want us to keep fighting for the climate and fighting for our country and our kids and that's what we're going to do.
And Dr. Chima, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ?
I think if you look at the common saying ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਰਤਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਰਤਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਹੋਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਰ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਰੈਕਟ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਦੀ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਮੈਂਟ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਹੈ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਉਠਾਇਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਇਕਨੋਮੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਉਠਾਇਆ ਸਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਕੀਤਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੌਬਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਪਏ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਪਏ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਵੀ ਹੈਵ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਗੁੱਡ ਇਕਨੋਮੀ we have a very good government and we should continue to have a exceptionally good government for next 4 years
we need 4 years
we need 4 years
we need 4 years
and we need a strong majority
everybody to vote and this is what I would say if you know one of the most precious things as a human rights lawyer one of the most precious things we have in this country is the right to vote and I want everybody young people seniors everybody to exercise have your say you know vote it's so precious and people around the world don't have it so we should use it.
And then what will be your message to the residents in Delta?
Well, I would ask that, of course, the residents of Delta continue to support me and continue to see the value I bring to our community and my ongoing commitment to work as hard as I possibly can for people and help as many people as we can and be part of a Liberal government that is welcoming and inclusive and just wants a better Canada and believes that that's possible.
Dr. Chima, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਹੋਗੇ?
ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਵੀ we live in the best country we live in the best province and we need to continue to make it better and only one way to make it better to participate work hard be involved but we have the better platform we have the best prime minister we have the great team and I think that's what we are asking we are requesting ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਰੈਕਟ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਕਾਰਲਾ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਕਰੀਏ ਅੱਗੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਪਾ ਕੇ we need more strength and we need your help.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chima. First of all, you come with every single candidate and then help them and then Sanu translate karke bhi dasde hain. Thank you so much. You translate it as well. We're lucky to have you. And thank you so much for coming in and good luck for elections.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਕਾਰਲਾ ਖੋਲਟਰੋ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਚੀਮਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਰ ਵਾਰ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਹੈ ਯੂ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਵੋਟ ਫॉर ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਔਰ ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਇਟਸ ਆਲ ਯੂਰ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ ਬਟ go and vote on September 20th. Otherwise, you can mail in ballot, you can participate in advance poll, but do go and vote. Information ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਂਦੇ ਰਵਾਂਗੇ. Keep watching Sanjha TV. Thank you so much.